everybody, and today we are doing another Illumicrate unboxing. I hope that there's enough light here, but you know, I am just going to be filming it because I'm just too impatient at this point in time to wait any longer. But so, I am going to be unboxing this book. I'm hoping to read it in April. I did not put it on my April TBR, so that could be potentially a problem. However, what could also be a possibility is I have a book in for one prompt that, depending on what the edition is like for this book, I might actually be able to swap it out. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that, but in any case, let's dive into this box. So this is the March box for not for Fairy Loot. I am not subscribed to Fairy Loot. The March box for Illumicrate, and I really think that you're probably not seeing a goddamn thing of this. So should I wait to film this? I so want to open the box. Should I just up the ISO even more, even though that means that the quality is going to go down a little bit? Maybe. That's probably the safest bets. Let's see what we can do about this. Alright, I am hoping that I am more visible from this particular perspective, but so I am going to be unboxing the March Illumicrate box, and I'm gonna be giving you my review for it afterwards, hopefully, if I get to this book in time. But basically, I'm going to be opening the Fantasy March 2024 Illumicrate box. So I am not a rep for Illumicrate. All of my opinions are my own. Not to indicate that people who are a rep don't have their own opinions, but so I'm not paid in any way, shape, or form to give my opinion about Illumicrate. So this is just like my unbiased opinion. I pay for Illumicrate myself. And so first off, we have a Underwater Haven plant pots. The box is very light on its sort of like decoration, so it doesn't really give you much of an indication about what's going to be inside in terms of the design of the plant pot. I have had another plant pot, also from Illumicrate, which I really enjoyed, and I really need to find a plant to put in it actually. And it is like a really gorgeous thing, but I don't think I'm gonna have to have a close-up for this one, because this is really difficult to capture on camera, especially since like I have barely any light coming onto me at this point in time. This is really like a super dark, gloomy, sort of like underwater type of thing, and I think that this is probably actually inspired by the book of the month. The book pot is designed by Jane Tibbetts and it's found neutral. Okay, but so it has a lot of like sort of like water themed creature, which I know that the box of the month, the book of the month also has. And so you have sort of like underwater horse, some jellyfish, seaweeds, then like a sort of like humanoid type of creature perhaps, and then some fish. And so I really enjoy this one. I will also include a video or a clip or something of the other book that I have, the other plant pot that I have from a previous Illumicrate box. But so yes, very happy with this plant pot. Doesn't mean now that I need a second super small plant to put in there. Next up, so got some paper here. Let's get that out of the way. There's another box in here. So should have brought my scissors with me here, I guess, to be able to easily open this. Is there an easy opening? No, probably not, right? Can I get this tape off? It's also like it's just like a cardboard wrapping or something, because, you know, trying to get the tape off, I'm actually like breaking through the box itself. Okay. Oh wait, was this the box in which we were gonna get another one of those, like what are they called? Yeah, it's a ceramic, come on, get out. Ow. It's a ceramic, I don't know what, where you can put stuff in. Like this side is open, and this, once again, I'll just have a close-up because I like the atmosphere of this sort of like setup, but I very much doubt that you're able to see a damn thing on this video. So this is a ceramic pot which is water themed, because, you know, the theme is fantasy, and it says legends of mythical sea creatures, and at the back it says tales from the deepest depth of the ocean. Now I'm not entirely sure what you're actually supposed to do with these things. You know, these are like collector's items for Illumicrate that I feel like this is my first one, because every single time since I've been subscribed to Illumicrate, when they've had one of these in it, it was for a book that I wasn't interested in. And to be fair, for this book actually I also hesitated a lot before getting it. And so this is... Wait, I'm completely wrong. So the book pots, Jesus, the plant pots was designed by Anna Stead, and that is indeed inspired by the book of the month. So I had that right. And this one is the book pot, which is designed by Jane Tibbetts, and that is fandom neutral. So yeah, what am I supposed to do with that book pot? I think people have used it, for example, to put like their bookmarks in and stuff like that, but I feel like because it's a ceramic pot, that seems like, you know, you can do much more with it. But I need some inspiration. What do I do with this thing, guys? Next up we have I'd already forgotten, but this is the main reason why I actually wanted this box to some extent. Not just like I was of course interested in the book to some extent, you know, I was just doubting about the book, and this item is the one that got me like over the edge, and that is a book sleeve. So this is a Sea Themes book sleeve, which has like kraken tentacles on it. It has a ship. Does Amari have a kraken? Now I'm confused. Now I'm not unsure. But so Kraken in the Deep book jacket, designed by Pau Haimi, The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi inspired. Yay! I liked The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi a lot, and I'm very like, I think this is a beautiful book jacket, which I will definitely get use out of. So far at least two of which I know what my use would be. I think the book pot is also very nice. I just don't really know what I'm going to be doing with that one. Next up we have some post-its, I assume. Now I'm gonna have to have a close-up of that one, but I will say that also just looking at it like this, I feel like the print on it is kind of like, it's not blurry, but it could be more crisp. And so it's posted, I assume, with the text on it being "Your magic is wonderful, I'll remember you." And I actually think that these might be see-through. Yeah, they're see-through post-its, which I don't know what I feel about that. Like see-through post-its with a little bit of text on it, regardless. Like, how easy would that be to write on, for example? I feel like this feels like it's difficult to write on. Can you write on it with like just any type of thing? So this is Beneath the Waves sticky notes, designed by Marigona Suli. These sticky notes with elements inspired by In Deeper Waters are perfect for all of the note takers out there and are transparent for easy use in your books. Maybe you're not really supposed to write on anything on it. Maybe it's just like, you know, you stick it on a page that you really enjoy. But I feel like they're a little bit like big for that, you know, then you would expect like shorter one. Please ensure care is taken when sticking into books, and if repositioning to ensure no damage is done to the paper or text. Okay, sure. The best pen to use is a ballpoint pen. Okay, we'll have to try that out at some point to see how well that works. Yeah, and then we move over to the book of the month, which I'm really excited about to see what they did with this edition. So, in case it wasn't clear from the card, because this design card for the month kind of, if you know the cover of this book, tells you which book it is. And I can already, through this packaging, see the color wave of this, which is really interesting. It's not a color, like, it might actually be a good colorway for me, right? Okay, so this is the book. I'll have other close-ups for a nicer footage of it. But Fathom Folk by Elisa Chan. So the original cover, I feel like is quite similar. It's more sort of like pink and greenish, whereas this is more sort of like blue and reddish. And I was kind of hoping I could potentially use this for the pink prompts, which I don't know. There's some pink in there, so we can see if I can put it in there or not. But so the front is I think just a recoloring of the original cover, which I typically don't really enjoy, but I will say that I think that this cover is so stunning in and of itself that I'm okay with just having a recoloring for it. The back of it is also really gorgeous. Then we have beautiful sprayed edges, which have this sort of like wave design, which looks very much like the painting, the wave of Karikawa. And at the bottom you also have that sort of like design of the waves, and at the top of that sort of sunset. Let's see if we have anything under the dust jacket, just trying to not like spoil myself for potential end page art. So there is definitely nothing underneath the dust jacket, so it's a one-sided dust jacket. Oh my god, guys, it has a beautiful printed cover. I mean, I love printed covers in Dutch publishing industry. Actually, the dust jacket is much more like infrequent, or it's more recent than the printed hardcover. We were definitely printing hardcovers much earlier, and I just think it's gorgeous. And I would actually not mind if they would also like print the title on these sort of printed hardcovers in special editions, just because then you also have the option to put it on your shelves without the dust jacket on at all. But I think that this is absolutely gorgeous, such detailed work. And on the back you have a dragon like this, and that is just absolutely stunning. I think that's my favorite part of this edition. I think I mean, I haven't seen potential end papers or anything like that, but this design on the naked hardcover is just absolutely stunning. So let's see. There are end papers. So end paper design on the front is very much blue underwater. We have two people. We have some fish. I think that those fish, right? No, it's mer people. And then the back one is the exact same one. So I tend to prefer to have a little bit of a different end paper front and back, but you know, I understand budget, we cannot do everything, but this cover design is just absolutely gorgeous. Let me see if there's anything. Oh, that's also a super nice touch, because Fathom Folk is basically a Chinese, like it has Chinese cultural inspiration, and so here you have like a typical Chinese seal at the front with then the author signature, which I guess is printed on, it looks like. And then we also have a printed author's letter in there, which I'm not really gonna zoom in on because I feel like, you know, that's for the people who subscribe to it to get to read that. But yeah, let me see if there's anything else. I don't think so, right? No. But that is absolutely gorgeous. So, Fathom Folk. Let me read out the introduction to you. Welcome to Tiankawi, shining pearl of human civilization and a safe haven for those fleeing civil unrest. Or at least that's how it first appears. But in the semi-flooded city, humans are quite literally on top, peering down from shining towers and aerial walkways on the Fathom Folk, sirens, sea witches, kelpies and kappas who live in the polluted waters below. For half-siren Myra, promotion to captain of the border guard means an opportunity to help her downtrodden people. But if earning the trust and respect of her human colleagues wasn't hard enough, everything Mira has worked towards is put in jeopardy when Nami, a know-it-all water dragon Fathom Folk royalty, is exiled to the city. When extremists sabotage the annual boat race, violence erupts, as does the clampdown on Fathom Folk rights. Both Nami and Mira must decide if the cost of change is worth paying or if Tiankawi should be left to drown. So, debut fantasy novel inspired by East Asian mythology and ocean folk tales, perfect for fans of Jade City, The Bone Shop Dollar, and House of Earth and Blood. I'm not entirely sure about that House of Earth and Blood part, which means that I'm assuming that there's gonna be some smut and romance in here. And I gotta say that that is kind of becoming my difficulty with Illumicrate, and why I'm finding it difficult to decide on getting boxes or not, because I feel like there's a typical Illumicrate box, or typical Illumicrate, Fairy Loot, any type of them. Even their adult picks feel quite YA, at least in their premise. And I'm not entirely sure that that is like the best recipe for success for me. So we'll have to see what my opinion will be about this one, whether this kind of like breaks this sort of like meh streak I've had going on with Illumicrate, which is not to say that I haven't had great books, but I can really only think of one book that really surprised me. There are definitely books that Illumicrate has picked before I was an Illumicrate rep that have really worked for me, and I do have the Illumicrate of Babel, for example, by R.F. Kuang, which I really enjoyed as well. So there definitely are some success stories in the Illumicrate choices. But I feel like more often than not, since in the boxes that I've been consuming, I've kind of been let down. So I do have a little bit more Illumicrate left to read. I'm actually planning, so I'm reading one right now, and I'm planning to read another one as well this week. So I'll probably have a little bit more of like an opinion about this by the time I actually get around to Phantom Folk. But yeah, I don't know. I love the idea of these special editions, and I like, you know, the excitement of unboxing them, but a lot of times so far the reading experience has kind of left me down compared to the beauty that is the edition. And of course I much prefer to have the beautiful edition for books that I actually really enjoy. But so, nothing left for me to do but actually read this book, which hopefully is going to be happening sometime soon. Hey everybody, and yes, I am here to kind of talk about Phantom Folk to some extent, but mainly to talk about why I am not going to be continuing with Phantom Folk. So I have, I think, given you guys an update about this particular book. Not even sure whether I did it for Phantom Folk, but with Phantom Folk I've had a little bit of a mixed experience so far, like a mixed starting experience, because I started this book earlier in the year, I think maybe in like July or something like that, or like June, July, and it was my commute book at that point in time, so I was listening to the audiobook. But while I was grasping like the main points, and I wasn't like fully confused neither, but I also felt like I wasn't like engaged enough with it so that like a lot of the details were passing me by, and like I wasn't paying attention enough to it. So I felt like, okay, I'm missing out on stuff here. So I ended up DNFing it at that point in time, but I think like 2 weeks later or so I started Every Book All at Once, and so I restarted it in the physical form at that point in time. And so I've been going through it physically for the past few months, but I will say that I was barely ever picking it up, except for when it had to move forward because of the benchmark or because of the goal or anything like that. And so it isn't that I severely dislike this book, it isn't that this book is doing a ton of stuff wrong, but I just really don't care about this book, and I'm never tempted to pick this book up. I'm always kind of forcing myself to pick it up. It isn't calling to me. I have no interest in like seeing where things are going, and none of these characters are appealing to me. So we're basically mainly following like 3 characters. We're following Nami, I think her name is, who's basically this like half siren who is like in a really like good relationship with a guy who is like seen as like who has a high position and a high esteem from Phantom Folk like her, and they are basically living topside in a society that very much looks down on Phantom Folk. And so she's like a pioneer within her society because she's like the first one who has Phantom Folk blood, who is like the captain of her policing squad. And then we follow the sister of her boyfriend, who is like, you know, like an impulsive teenager who is like really like wanting to have the best for her people. Like her brother, she's a dragon, and dragons are very much revered, very much seen as sort of like royalty within their society, and so she kind of wants to reclaim Fathom folk standing, but because of like the mischief that she gets up to, she's sent topsides to kind of spy, I think the point was of her going topside. But this moment that she kind of lands topside, there is another player in the game who kind of like misdirects her, so that the first person she's in contact with are not her brother and his girlfriend, but she's like shown sort of like the worst side of things from the beginning, and kind of like steered in certain directions or to believe certain things from the beginning. And then the third character that we're reading from is like the Sea Witch, who's basically somebody who is Fathom folk but who's really good at sort of like manipulating circumstances, so that she kind of gets on top, but at the same time like using Fathom folk at the same time in order to achieve her goals. And I think that character is the one that kind of most intrigues me about this entire book, because she is like a fascinating character who's a little bit more in the grey zone than our other two characters. I think the younger character is the most annoying one for me, because she's got all of this idealism but none of the pragmatism about how the way works, and so she's very much like indignant and angry at the world, but sometimes that isn't the best way to achieve things and stuff like that. So yeah, I just didn't really latch on to any of these characters to be like interested in like what's next for them, what's coming, where is the story going to take it, are they going to grow, are they going to change their way of thinking and stuff like that. So I ultimately decided that, look, part of the reason for this project was to see like which books were gonna like be the standouts, which ones were gonna be calling to me, and similarly this is also going to bring forth those books that really don't interest me all that much. And if the only real reason why I'm reading them is just because of a quota, just because of a goal, a weekly goal, then why am I doing that? You know, that's not the purpose of reading. That's not why I like reading, and nobody's forcing me to read this. Nobody will like resent me for not reading anything or or anything like that. So you know, it's just for me, and this one is clearly one that isn't working for me. So do with that information what you want to, because of course it isn't the most sort of like helpful information for you in determining whether you should be buying this book or not, whether it would work for you. But I would say like if you know, like if you are hesitant about this book and my thoughts haven't really clarified anything for you, then like maybe read a sample to see if the beginning of this book is like instantly drawing you in or not, the way that it wasn't for me. But so yeah, that will be the unlucky conclusion about this book, is that I am putting it down and I am not continuing with it. So yeah, sad circumstances, unfortunately not the first Illumicrate book for which this will happen, and so yeah, we'll have to see how many times this happens over my Illumicrate subscription to see whether I should be changing things. I think in any case I will be making my choices a little bit more rigorously, and not just like taking every box out there. So yeah, then I'm gonna end this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've read Fathom Folk, definitely let me know your thoughts about it. Like what did you like, what didn't you like, did this one work for you? And then definitely like try to sell it to the people in the comment section at that point in time as well. But so yeah, with that I'm gonna end this video. See you guys for the next one. Bye!